What's going on, everybody? In my last video, I kinda lied to you because I said this.
And you might be wondering, why is Douglas just chilling on the bottom of the tank? And that is because he has anchorworm, and I don't know how.
That wasn't the issue with Douglas, but what the issue was, I'm gonna explain. So when I noticed Douglas was first starting to be sick, it was kinda just visual effects that the fish display when they are sick, specifically flower horn. One of the first things you'll see with a flower horn and most other fish when they get sick is their colors will dimmen. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if dimmen is a proper word, but what I mean is the color will become more dark. Or fade in some nature. The fish will be less vibrant. Another thing that comes with the appearance of the fish is you'll see stress lines in flower horns, and some other fish have these as well. What stress lines are, if we're looking at the rear end of the fish, you can see these vertical lines that are right here, and that's an indication that your fish is under stress. Not all fish have stress lines, but they generally do have some means of indicating whether they are stressed out or content by appearance. So just make sure you do your research on your particular species of fish. Another thing I noticed was the size of his cock, or his coke. The cock, K-O-K, is this big bump on his head. One of the main attractions of the flower horn. There are a bunch of species of fish that actually have a cock, but flower horn is really mostly known for having a cock because they're so huge. Other fish include frontosas, red Texas, other kinds of flower horn, and honestly, a ton more. One day I want to have a fish room that is specifically all fish with cocks. So anyways, I noticed that Douglas's cock started to shrink. It started to look less inflated. It got real flat on the top. It's still not all the way back, but the treatment is just starting to work. Now another thing I noticed is that he was laying on the bottom of the tank like a lot. He wasn't swimming around. He wasn't up like he is. He was literally on the glass. Now let's take a look at some video and some photos from the day that I realized that I wasn't dealing with hookworm, but I was dealing with some kind of fungus. Now let's think about all the things that I just mentioned. His color is very dim, he's faded a lot, he has very distinct stress lines, he's on the bottom of the aquarium, and his coke looks a little bit smaller. So I'm sorry I don't have any real good photos of what I was actually seeing. What I was seeing on the fish for a few days was these little white strings coming off of the fish. So I assumed it was some kind of parasite. It kind of looked like a worm, as you see right here in this photo. This one appears to be on the fin, but it's actually on the body behind the pectoral fin. So he had a few of these all over his body, and not very many, but there was a few, probably like 10 total. So I did a full treatment with general cure to no avail. Still had these little guys on here. And then I noticed what we're looking at right here. On his cock, where he hasn't had any of these worm-like things before, it looks like he has dust. But obviously he's in the water, so he can't collect dust on his head. Which leaves one thing. Fungus. So I should have expected that this could have been a possibility when I took out all the sand, because when you take out all your substrate, there's a bunch of stuff, a bunch of gross bacteria, and all other things that may be dormant or not dormant that are going to get suspended into the water column, which would have never been there before. So it's always a possibility when you remove your substrate that something bad could happen to your fish. They could get sick, they could die. There's plenty of different things. All that stuff will be a different video. After this video, if you want to learn about a different type of fungus, I'll put a link in the description, and there will be a little thingy probably right here at the end of the video that will pop up that you can click onto, or you can rewind to this spot and click on this right here. It's up to you. So I went down to my local pet shop and I picked up erythromycin. And I know some of you guys are thinking that erythromycin on the box says it's for bacterials, not fungals. But one thing you might have missed is right here, it says mouth fungus. So let me explain. No, the erythromycin isn't going to kill the fungus. It's not going to. Erythromycin is an antibiotic, and what this antibiotic is going to do is it's going to help the immune system of the fish. It's going to help produce antibodies, and these antibodies are going to fight off the infections. So if your body has antibodies, and antibodies don't usually discriminate, when your body produces them, they attack whatever they were produced to attack. And regardless of what you do to get the body to start producing antibodies, it's going to produce the correct antibodies that it needs. So I grabbed the proven antibiotic, erythromycin. Small disclaimer, I'm not a veterinarian. I'm just an average everyday fish keeper. I've been keeping fish for 20 years, and I'm just going off of things that I've done in the past that I know that works, the studying that I've done on what aquarium products do, and a little bit of what I know other people have done. And for those of you who don't know, if you're looking for a veterinarian for fish, it's very difficult to even find one, let alone be able to afford what you're going to do, because if you're looking for a vet that works with fish, it is very expensive. First step with a lot of different treatments for a lot of different reasons is a water change. I'm not going to tell you how much of a water change to do, because as always, I want you to read the box of the product that you're exposing your fish to. Now inside of this box of erythromycin is 10 of these packets. Now you're supposed to do 1 packet per 10 gallons. You get 10 packets. His tank is 36 gallons. So what I did is I started off strong. I did 4 packets, and then I dosed with 3 packets, and then I dosed with 3 packets. So you want to take 1 packet per 10 gallons of erythromycin and put it into a cup. The next step is to put some aquarium water into that cup. What I like to use is my little turkey baster. This one's made by API actually. It's for aquariums. Then I use it to suck up some water and put it into the cup like so. I usually put about 4 to 5 of these into this cup. Once the water's in there, you gotta mix it up, and I just use the turkey baster. Suck it up, push it out, suck it up, push it out, suck it up, push it out. And once it's all mixed, I just let it sit there for a few minutes to make sure all the powder gets dissolved into the water. Then you're gonna take the dissolved erythromycin and pour it into the aquarium. One thing I forgot to tell you guys about adding medicines to your aquarium is you have to make sure that there is no carbon in your filters, because carbon will filter out most medicines that you put into your aquarium, so make sure you get that out of there. And once you've added your medicine, you wait 48 hours, and then you look at the box again to make sure that you remember what % water change it told you to do. Do that % water change and retreat. Then you wait another 48 hours, and your fish should be fine at that point. If not, you repeat the dose. This is Douglas's 3rd dose, and as you see, it doesn't look like there's any fungus on him anywhere. I just did the last dose for precautionary purposes. Might as well, I had it. Now he's looking pretty good. His stress lines are still there, so obviously he's still not feeling too great, but he's looking a lot better, doing a lot better. So if you like this video, please just hit the like button, and if you want to catch up and see how Douglas is doing in a few days, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and until next time, peace.